Weekly rotation time. I haven't done any other videos this week, just been caught up with a few things which haven't allowed me to do any reviews or lists or anything like that. So we're at weekly rotation time again. What's interesting about this week is that you're going to see a few perfumes that have not ever been featured in my weekly rotation videos before, only because some of these I've not worn since, I don't know, about March, April, when the weather was a little bit warmer. And this week we had some very spring-like, probably a little bit unusually warm weather for Melbourne at this time of the year. So let's start off. Monday, I wore a couple of my favourite, I guess I would call comfort scents, and they were, you've seen these, Au Noir from Dior and Eau de Bois from L'Occitane. Vanilla, incense, cypress, spicy, immortelle, lavender, coffee, a little bit of licorice. Beautiful, beautiful scents. Then on Tuesday, started the day off with one of my favorite leathers from Hermès, Belle Amie, current version. And then I finished a sample that I started wearing at the beginning of the year in our summer. It's a beautiful combination of blackcurrant leaf, which is not a note that I normally love too much, but what I really like about L'Ombre d'un Lot from Diptyque, this is the Eau de Toilette version, samples now finished, is its beautiful watercolor-like pink rose is the way I imagine it. It's a very delicate and watery kind of perfume. For some reason, I don't know why I get that sort of visualization or impression, but it's almost the perfect summer rose that I've worn anyway. Do I want a full bottle of it? I can appreciate its beauty. It did grow on me because my initial impressions of this was that I didn't like it, and maybe that was a sort of gut reaction to smelling all that blackcurrant cassis in the perfume, but definitely grew on me. It's a beautiful, beautiful perfume. On Wednesday, I wore Le Troisième Homme, Third Man from Caron. I keep repeating myself, one of my all-time favorites, perennially in my kind of like top 5 perfumes. And it's just a really well-made, spicy, citrus, woody perfume. One of the best bergamot openings that I have smelled. You have to like clove because I get quite a bit of clove from this, and dries down mossy. It's just really well constructed perfume. Then I wore something I haven't worn for a while and probably have not featured in my weekly rotation videos before. This is my little bottle of Guerlain's L'Homme Idéal Cologne, now discontinued. They brought out a bunch of flankers of this line. I have only tried the Eau de Toilette, the original Eau de Toilette, the Eau de Parfum, and the Cologne. Cologne is easily my favorite from this line. And what to say about it? Again, there's nothing too groundbreaking, complex going on with this perfume. This is definitely in my perfume wardrobe category as just, I do not need to think about it. If it's a little bit warm, it's perfect. And I have really nice scent memories associated with this particular perfume. 4 years ago, about this time 4 years ago, I had a great trip to Italy and it was warm, and I bought a decant of this perfume, and it's, along with a couple of other perfumes, the one that kind of reminds me of being there in summer. So that's L'Homme Idéal Cologne. Thursday, I went again with Azzaro Pour Homme. I'm really trying to give this one a lot of wears just to, I guess, give myself every chance of understanding why it's so popular. And I think I do get why it's so popular, because if you were an early adopter or early user of Azzaro Pour Homme when it came out in the late 70s, it seems to be, from what I've smelled of that era, one of the better perfumes that was released around that time. I think nowadays I find this like an acceptably good smelling perfume. And even though this is a mini vintage, I don't feel like I'm going to need to have a bottle of Azzaro, especially because there's just other stuff out there that, excites me, gives me more feels. Then I drained a sample from hyped and somewhat universally loved, fairly new house Les Indomptables. I have not smelled the whole line, so I'm probably picking on one that is probably one of the weaker releases from this line. This is Escale on Haiti. I believe this, along with a couple of other freshies in the line, the more popular one I seem to read about and see on social media is Escale on Indonesia, and that's the one with the ambergris, I think, and people rave about that particular perfume. This one here is a stock standard citrus vetiver. Like as far as vetivers go, it's absolutely fine. But considering the price of this, and then I compare it with things that I really love, like Guerlain's vetiver, and even ones that I've owned before, like Encre Noir Sport, for instance, a fresher type of vetiver. I just don't see why anyone would fork out for a bottle of this. End of the working week. Cool mornings require a bottle or a few sprays of the wonderful Guerlain's Héritage EDT. But then on Friday, it got considerably warmer, and another one that I have not worn or featured on this particular series, and unfortunately I think has now been discontinued and kind of replaced with other Mugler flankers of this style. This is the original Mugler cologne, and if you asked me to name a perfume that epitomizes, and this is a very cliche for this perfume, but it's just true, that epitomizes fresh, soapy, scrubbed out of the shower scent, this is it. And it just smells really, really good. You're just going to always smell clean, pleasant, and I can't even imagine how anyone could ever get offended by smelling Mugler cologne on your skin. It is beautiful. Saturday, two of my most beautiful perfumes, in my opinion. I just love these two perfumes. Ombre Russe from Parfum d'Empire and Seville à l'Aube from L'Artisan Parfumeur. This is the last packaging that it was produced in, and to my nose, it smells exactly like the previous packaging in the clear bottle. Like the Guerlain L'Homme Idéal, I also took Seville à l'Aube to Italy with me in a sprayer, and that's also where this one initially first few wears I wasn't sure about, but it just got its hooks into me, and I will never get rid of this perfume no matter what. It's been discontinued, sadly, but I've got a lot of it left. It should see out a fair chunk of my future years. This morning, I went with another discontinued perfume from Florist London. Fragrance Journals. The full name is The Fragrance Journals 1962. Beautiful herbal aromatic. There's basil and cypress. I've already got some on. Although just very classy, sophisticated, aromatic, woody freshness. And in a little while, I'm going to be spraying my very favorite reference grapefruit perfume. Again, another one that hasn't been featured on my weekly rotation videos. This is Aqua Allegoria Pampelune from Guerlain. This is a summer afternoon daydream to spray on, just lying in a hammock maybe, or just staring out of a window, reminiscing, getting all nostalgic. So beautiful, so beautiful. But, you know, some people just don't like grapefruit. They get things from it that they don't like. I never got that from this perfume. It's just the way that it's blended with the floral accords in here is just so beautifully balanced. Just again, another gorgeous classic from the Aqua Allegoria line. Okay, the whole week has been a week of highlights. I really realized how much I missed wearing Mugler cologne, and every summer this is just a delight, and I always enjoy wearing this when it's really stinking hot. Low lights, I guess, you know, I was not unhappy to see the end of Escale on Haiti from Les Indomptables, but I'm willing to give other perfumes in that house brand a try, given how popular they seem to be with other people. That's it for my weekly rotation, and I will see you soon for another video. Keep an eye out on the channel for an extra announcement about stuff that I'm doing. Nice to see you. Bye.